It's my friend and your friend Tammy. And today is her last day on our staff team, and I wrestled with Tammy over this, and I lost. Proverbs 22:6 says, "Train a child in the way they should go. When they're old, they will not depart from it." And that's a passage not written to the church. That's written to parents. But our heart, and in particular your heart, for 21 years has been to partner with parents in that, to co-labor with them. And you've created ministry environments here that kids love to come to. Parents don't have to drag their kids, or the kids drag their parents here. And they have to put up with me, but the kids have a blast downstairs. I remember a few years ago, it was Memorial Day weekend. I don't remember who the family was, but they were let their kids know they're going to the lake for the weekend, because again, that's what people with boats do on Memorial Day. And their kids cried because they were going to miss church. That was never my story, and I think it's probably not most people's story. But kids love to be a part of this place, and you've embraced a philosophy of ministry that's been very, very challenging, and that is to put an adult in the life of a kid to be a third voice for them and also be a third voice for the parents. And that has been a challenge to do. It would be way easier for you to just do a large group lesson or show a video and send kids on their way, but that's never been your heart. It's never been your heart to think of it as childcare, but you've always seen it as this is an opportunity to help kids find and follow Jesus. And so you have poured yourself out to this ministry, and we are all so thankful, and we are all so blessed. And there are kids who grew up in your ministry that are parents now, which says nothing about your age, only about your tenure here. 21 years is a long time. There are kids who grew up in your ministry that have moved away, and they're volunteering in other churches, and they're serving in children's ministry. There are kids who've gone on to be in ministry because of your influence on them. And we asked some folks to send in a video. And so we're going to watch a video. I'm going to ask Chris to bring out some supplies, and we're going to have you sit down here. You can sit here. We'll move it up here, and you just watch this video here.
One of my first impressions of Center Pointe Church came in the summer of 2001. When I was being interviewed to be the next lead pastor there. And I was visiting the church, and it was in the evening, and it was during a summer kids program, and the worship room was filled with kids, and there on the stage was a person named Tammy Phillips. And immediately I knew this person has the it factor when it comes to children's ministry. There's such heart and such creativity, and I was so impressed. 2 years later, when our church was going through some transition, the Lord really put your name on my heart to say, I believe that Tammy Phillips is the next person to serve as a children's minister at our church. And I'll never forget pulling you aside and saying, I think God might be calling you to this, and you'd be exactly the right fit. And who knew that 21 years later, you'd still be doing that position. And I am just so thankful for your ministry there. I'm not too thankful for you making me eat live worm, sliming me, and also making me eat a cicada that you had refrigerated. Those things I do not appreciate. But the one thing I do appreciate is every year at Baby Day, a moment that we always look forward to. We knew absolutely, without a doubt, that when it came to Baby Day, that there was going to be a Tammy Phillips emotional moment on stage. And that was a moment that we looked forward to, because it showed your heart and it showed your love for the kids and the love for the Lord. I don't think people understand the kind of challenge it is to be a children's minister. Not only do you have to have the heart for kids and the heart for the Lord, you also have to be incredibly administrative. You have to be able to recruit volunteers, and in your case, many, many volunteers. And you have to take the phone calls on Sunday morning where somebody says, I'm sick and I need help, and can somebody else fill my shoes? The role that you have served is incredibly important in the life of the church. And I'm so thankful for what you've done. And I want to wish you well in the next chapter of your life. And continue to love on those grandbabies. And I just want to say to you, well done, well done, well done. It's such a joy to serve with you. God bless you.
I grew up at Center Pointe back when it was Lakota Christian Church, and I was one of so many kids who were blessed to have Miss Tammy as their kids pastor. And then as a student, I started volunteering, and I got to experience her ministry in a whole new way as a volunteer under her. But the moment that really changed things for me was this moment in high school where I started thinking about what I wanted to do with my life. And I heard this little voice inside say, I want to be Miss Tammy when I grew up. And that became my vision. That became my vision for my future. I was not just gonna be a kids pastor, I was gonna be like Miss Tammy. And Miss Tammy walked through so much of that with me, whether it was empowering me as a high school volunteer or praying for me and encouraging me through college and through starting ministry, to answering questions when I was struggling and helping me coming up with ideas. And there are so many ways that Miss Tammy is a part of the ministry that I am doing to this day. And so I still want to be Miss Tammy when I grow up. And now every time that I get to help a volunteer see how they uniquely can be a part of what God is doing in a kid's life, I get to be Miss Tammy. Every time that I get to help a little kid understand just a small piece of how loved they are by their father, I get to be Miss Tammy. And every time that I get to be a part of a baptism where a kid gives their life to Jesus, and I might shed a few tears, sound familiar? I get to be Miss Tammy. And it's incredible the way that her legacy has played out in my life, that now I get to be Miss Tammy for so many kids. And I know I still wake up every day and think I want to be Miss Tammy when I grow up.
I was recently asked who some of the most influential people in my life are, and without a doubt, one of those people is Miss Tammy. I grew up with Miss Tammy, going to Lakota Christian Church, now Center Pointe, and ever since I was really, really young, Miss Tammy saw gifts and talents in me that she recognized, pointed out to me, and was probably one of the first people who allowed me to step into leadership in ministry, sharing those gifts and talents with other people. She always encouraged me to use my voice and to lead worship for my friends or other people in our kids' ministry. And still to this day, I think that encouragement, and because she called some of those things out in me, is why I am where I am today. I now work in full-time ministry at a church, and one of my role models as a strong female in ministry has been Miss Tammy. Miss Tammy has left a legacy. She is someone whose impact does not stay in what she's just doing right now. She has impacted so many kids and people just like me, and because of that, other people are coming to know Jesus and coming deeper into relationship with him because of the impact that she's had on me and others around me. So Tammy, I'm so thankful for not only the impact that you've made in my life, but because of that, the legacy that you are leading behind you and people whose lives I'm able to impact now in ministry. So thank you. And I can't wait for this next season for you doing impact in ministry in a different way.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Miss Tammy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. With deep appreciation and gratitude for your 21 years of faithful service, leading our children's ministry with passion, dedication, grace, and humility, you have left an indelible mark on all those you've served, and your legacy will continue to inspire and guide us as we help kids and families find and follow Jesus. And then this scripture, Revelation 21:4, he will wipe every tear from their eyes. That's yours. Can you sit for just a second? I want to ask you now, for those of you that you were either in children's ministry, you volunteered in some way in children's ministry and worked with Tammy over the years, would you stand if you were connected to children's ministry in some way? Yeah. A lot of folks. So thank you for your leadership and for your impact. You can be seated on them. And so we want you to feel loved today, and we all want to take a little something away. We've got out in the lobby, we've got cake. There's lots of cake, so they're not all for you. But you guys can have some cake today, and we also got Tammy tissues, all right? And so this is like one per family, because we don't have enough, one per family, but you don't have to share the cake. You can have your own piece of cake. As you go out, you can grab one of these and grab some cake. So we're going to have you go on out there. Tammy, thank you, Tammy. She'll be in the lobby out there if you want to connect. You can leave. Go ahead. You can connect with her out there. But another way that you can connect with her too, because not everybody's going to get to have a personal moment with Tammy, but we've created a link, and the QR code will be on the screen as you walk out here in a few minutes. But you can scan that QR code and you can record a little personal video for Tammy as well. We'd love to send her away with all kinds of little videos of folks sharing love and appreciation for her. And maybe your kids who grew up in her ministry who aren't around here anymore, you can share that link with them too, so they can tell Miss Tammy about how she's impacted them as well. So before you go, just a couple of things. We are right now in the process of recruiting volunteers for Trunk or Treat that's coming up in a month. So if you want to deck out your trunk, or if you want to provide some treats, we'd love for your help with that. You can go on our church app and sign up there. Next Sunday is our Discover Purpose class. So if you're looking for ways to engage and get involved around here, that is the class for you. So you can sign up for that, again, on the app, on the website, or you can also go to Guest Central. And if anybody wants to just spend some time in prayer this morning, we're going to have our prayer team up here, as we do every single Sunday. They would love to have time to spend some time with you praying over whatever is on your heart today. But otherwise, go out, grab some cake, grab a Tammy tissue for your family, and have a blessed week. We'll see you next Sunday.